Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the You Got the Ron Dude podcast. I'm your host, Ron Jammin. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the time I was scammed. No clickbait, nothing like that. But thankfully it was just a one-time fee, and I'll explain why, it pretty much cost me everything. And this has to do with music. And if you're listening on Anchor.fm, you can leave a voice message. Spotify, YouTube, that's where episodes and clips are available. So leave some comments, I'd love to hear from you. But let's just get right into it. So in the summer of 2016, I was really into SoundCloud. That's pretty much what I used to promote music in that. And keep in mind, I had under 100 followers. Some songs would get some pretty decent plays in that. But I uploaded this one track, and then shortly after, I got a message from a quote-unquote label. But they're purely digital, online distribution. And, I was younger, naive, gullible. I can admit that. I'm sure I'll get into that more in future episodes and stuff that I fell for. Or you just want to believe that, people are good and honest. And anyways, I get this message and they just offer me a deal right there. And I mentioned that I had like 3 other songs, new ones, ready to go. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Without even hearing them. So that should have been a red flag right away. Just to be like, are you sure? Because are you looking for a certain genre? Or need to hear if these ones are all done. But they told me that it was going to be $80, the one-time fee. That's for mastering the tracks, marketing, promotion, and then we'd split everything 50-50. But very basic information. And I just thought, great, because if I make, if I sell $100 worth of music, it's like, well, heck, there's $50. And then, of course, eventually you do your taxes and such. But I was thrilled, and I couldn't wait to tell my friends and family, kind of show off, kind of brag about it. But, yes, I fell for it. Now, of course, I'm going to go into details about everything. And thankfully, it wasn't a continuous scam, but I can't make money off the music, and that's the problem. So I'll get more into that. But anyways, let's continue. Well, another red flag that didn't even stand out to me, they gave me somebody else's login information, like a username and password. And the username, it was an artist name, because it was very specific with the wording in that. It wasn't something like letters and numbers and other characters. But I was just so excited. I'm like, oh, okay. But it wasn't until, way after that I was like, somebody else's login. And basically this label, and you know what, I'm not going to mention the name because, you can't even find them online anymore. Anyways, if you look for my music in that, my newer stuff is under Ron Jammin 22, and that's Y, the 22. But just in case, because they could pull another thing like, hey, you're bashing us online, or if this episode gains traction, they'll, it's like kind of another scam. Be like, well, we wanted you to say something, and that way we can come after you. But I'm not going to name them. And I can't even get into contact with them. Their website is gone. It's been gone for I don't know how many years now. But I reached out to someone, the person who reached out to me on SoundCloud. Last time I reached out to them, I never heard back from them. But basically, my belief is that it was a person and they're acting as a label. But really, they just put your music out. And granted, they did do that. They got it out on the streaming platforms. And since then, I use DistroKid. Shout out to them. you pay a fee once a year, and you can put out as much music as you want, and then it sends it out to those other services. And on that note, I should clarify again, the reason this is a scam is because I paid a fee. They put the music out, but the release date was moved, and I wasn't contacted about it. Because I was like, I'm really embarrassed. I told all my friends about this, and the songs aren't out, the album's not out. The artwork was very basic, like nothing really stood out, like they made it in maybe a minute. But again, I can't make money off of it, and I haven't made a penny. And I know at least one friend who bought the album, and I didn't receive anything from it. And that's why I believe I was scammed. That and the site is gone, but my music is still up, it's still in stores, it's under that label, the name. So they're probably still collecting on it. Which is unfortunate. Well, they sent me a record contract, and clearly not official. It was very, very basic. It was one page, maybe two, and you just kind of sign away the tracks and agreeing to the 50-50 splits, and it's going to be exclusive. And at the time, this is before I got into like learning about publishing and masters and such, and even distribution. But, you know, an opportunity comes along, you're young, you're naive, and it's like, sure, just sign here. Oh, okay. And I sent it back, and, you know, people with scams and that, they'll say stuff like, you know, the difference between us and other labels, other people, we actually care about our artists. And that's not true. Because the website, it actually looked phony to me, I'll admit, when I first looked at it. Because they're terrible at marketing, they don't know how to promote, or maybe they do, but it hadn't been updated in a while. So all the new releases, you're like, where's my album? Why am I not seeing it here? And just very basic stuff. And clearly they just wanted a money grab. They wanted to get as many people on board. Because it's like, hey, if I can get $80 from a bunch of people, and they had a ton of artists from what I could see. And, you know, they basically distributed the music. It cost you $80. And you might as well have just given them the tracks for free, because it's like they're just going to continue collecting on them, and they went away, and their site went away. And it's unfortunate, because I'm sure, I mean, there's got to be, or there could be, you know, at least one lawsuit, who knows, maybe more, because it's not hard to track down people, because the internet, that's your trail, your digital footprint to people. So it's not a smart move. You know, I'm not threatening anything. I kind of let all this go. But, yeah, you don't want to take money out of people's pockets. And scamming people and that, it's just, I'm just saying it's not worth it. Yeah, my tracks were featured on a compilation album. I think 2 of them. But again, I never saw a dime. And, but yeah, since then I've learned just the red flags. So I hope this helps you, because I'm sure, you know, that wasn't their only site, their only scam. They could just start up a new fake label. And basically they just buy your music for a very, very cheap price, and then they just collect on it. You don't get anything. So those red flags I talked about, just keep those in mind, because I know it's very exciting. You're young, you're an artist, you just put something out, and then, oh my gosh, somebody just hit me up. But those are the red flags, because I know how drawn you're going to be to it, and you'll just sign right away. But I'm just saying, beware. Ask questions. Ask about numbers, percentages. If your music or whatever other art is going to be exclusive, and can you put your own songs up on YouTube and collect that? But just ask questions, because if this is a person trying to scam you, odds are they're going to be bothered by so many questions. And it'll be obvious in a message, or they'll cut off communication. And that's your ending red flag. Because when you're dealing with a real business person, they're going to answer all those questions. They're going to have an assistant to answer those questions. They're going to want you on board, and they're going to see, oh wow, this person actually knows what they're talking about. But definitely research publishing, masters, ownership, exclusivity, just things like that. And I really hope this helps you, because a one-time fee, but now I don't have those tracks. Even if I wanted to buy them back, it's like, how do I go about doing that? So if you know, educate me, because I can't get in contact with the person. But SoundCloud I haven't used for a few years now, just because their price went up per month. And then I eventually stumbled across DistroKid, because I was really looking for a while other ways to distribute my music. And if I could at least know the details and the stream numbers in that. But yeah, I'm talking about this to help others and to share my story. But those red flags, because I look back and I'm like, well, I wouldn't sign that today. There's not enough details. And of course, knowing everything that I know now, based on what I've learned about the music industry, because labels and such, and record companies, distribution. I mean, I'm still learning, believe me, even about making music. But yeah, so just make sure and research that stuff. Any red flags, the best thing you can do is just pause it, and then go and look online, YouTube videos, even look up their label, any names associated with it, affiliated with it. Because people will let you know, like, do not fall for this, it's a scam. Now, don't just go off that one post, though. Look at others. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. If everybody's saying it, it's like, well, something's going on. If everybody's saying it's a scam, don't fall for it. It's like, it's best to listen to them. And I almost forgot, because I was writing down my notes last night, there was actually another scam that I fell for. And this one was the year after. This was in the summer of 2017, maybe the fall. And there was a site, and this is another one that I'm trying to remember, because I was just drawn into it, and it was a couple $100 basically for their like gold or premium package, and you'd have all these fans. But the big red flag was the messages I got, they were bot-like. Like, hey friend, I enjoy your music, wishing you the best. You get a lot of messages like that. It's kind of like on YouTube when people, they have that, I call it a scam because it's just not authentic. Basically, it'll be like, hey, if you watch my videos, if you have a bunch playing in the background, like even with the volume off, you just have tabs open, and I'll do the same with yours, and we just do that to get more subscribers. You'll see the same kind of comments on their channel, on their videos. Must drive them crazy, because people aren't really actually watching or enjoying your content. So you're getting numbers to get verified so you can monetize your channel. But really, you look at someone like they just hit 1,000 subscribers, and then they won't post for a while. and all the comments are those bot ones. Or bot-like, I should say. They're actual people, but it's just like, the old YouTube days with the sub for sub. It's really like, no, I want people to find my content and enjoy it. But with this other site, I paid that fee, and my songs would actually get a lot of plays. But those comments were very suspicious. And I didn't renew with them because they wanted that money every year. But it's one of those, like, I've never been a fan of, paying for followers or the whole sub for sub thing. And the monetization, it's like, no, I'd rather people find my stuff and enjoy it. Because if they're not, if it's all a scam, it's like, well, I'm monetized, but they're not going to come back and watch my new stuff once we've all been monetized. We've all had each other's videos playing in the background, not even watching them or listening to them. But you'll find that emptiness, because it's like, wait, these messages, these comments, it's just like, hey friend, here to show support. Instead of like, that track you just posted blew my mind, I really enjoyed it. Can you tell me about the mixing process? So, authenticity. But that site, I paid, I think it was a few $100s. And the site actually looked pretty good. They had everything in place as far as the music player, friends, social media links and such. But again, look for red flags. Because that site, when I started on it, I didn't have the premium subscription, the gold subscription, whatever it was called. But once you start getting those messages, be very wary. But anyways, that'll do it for this episode. So I hope this helps you, and thank you for listening. Remember, if you're listening on anchor.fm, you can leave a voice message. You can check out video clips on YouTube and Spotify. And full episodes are available here on anchor.fm and Spotify. And I'd love to hear from you, so be sure to leave some comments, share this episode with friends, share your story, and just let people know. And I was going back and forth in my head last night about whether to name these services or not, but just message me. Because if you're like, oh, I think I know what site you're talking about, or hey, this site just reached out to me, or this label, should I go with them? And I'll just be honest with you. I'll be like, yes, no, or I'll research it, because I don't want you to fall for anything. And getting your music out there, I can refer you, well, I already mentioned, DistroKid, which is what I use. But yeah, share this episode with your friends, anyone you know who this might help. But subscribe, like, favorite, follow, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time.